This is Superyacht News. In association with Go Earth, navigating boat buyers to better deals. Hi, welcome back to the channel. So we're going over to Egypt for a story there. An Egyptian liveaboard diving vessel named MV Firebird has struck a reef en route to Dahab. All the crew, divers and passengers evacuated the vessel as they were forced to abandon ship after that vessel struck that reef in the northern part of Sharm el-Sheikh in the early hours of Sunday on the 20th of April. This report is according to divemagazine.com. The boat was carrying 7 divers, 4 Germans, 1 Swiss and 2 Egyptians and 7 crew when it sustained significant damage while en route approximately 80 kilometers north of Sharm. Everybody on board was safely evacuated and returned to shore. Now, it's unclear at this time if the vessel sank or if it remains trapped on the reef. MV Firebird has a sister vessel called Thunderbird and is run by a company called Deep Blue Cruises, which recently rebranded to Into the Blue with the addition of a third boat, MV Katana. Now, the company put out a statement saying in the early hours of this morning at approximately 1 a.m, our liveaboard vessel MV Firebird encountered a reef collision in the northern area of Sharm el-Sheikh. Thanks to the swift and professional response of our crew and dive guide, all guests were safely evacuated within 16 minutes. By around 2:30 to 3 a.m, military and land-based assistance arrived to support the operation and ensure the smooth transfer of everyone to a nearby hotel for rest and safety. We are relieved and proud to confirm that all guests and crew are safe and in good condition. MV Firebird is the 3rd Egyptian liveaboard to be lost this year alone, and we're only in April. As you've seen on the channel, there's been as many as over 20 vessels lost in the last few years. Now, if you were on board, we'd love to hear from you. If anyone has any video footage or photos of this incident, because we don't have any, we'd also be interested to see that. There doesn't seem to be any posted onto social media either. You can send it through the link in the ticker. It's theyachtreport.wetransfer.com. You don't need an account. Interestingly, on a Reddit thread talking about this incident, one person posted that they just recently returned from a diving trip from Hurghada, which is where this boat was based, and they were praising the crew because they replaced batteries in a smoke detector. This is what they said. I just got back from a 7-day liveaboard out of Hurghada on the Discover 2. The captain and crew and dive masters and instructors were awesome. A smoke alarm battery had died on the lower deck cabin corridor, and we told the crew and it was fixed immediately. The safety briefing was very thorough and well explained. Now, to that comment, we posted a response saying that, for your information, properly regulated vessels would not use battery-operated smoke detectors and would have a powered, centrally monitored fire alarm system and integrated sprinkler systems such as high fog system, which would all be monitored from the bridge. That's how professional vessels do it. They don't have battery-operated smoke detectors, which is, I'm laughing because it's shocking to imagine that people think this is okay. We finished the comment by saying the fact that this vessel uses battery-operated smoke detectors is a sign that the vessel is unregulated and dangerous, potentially. All right, we'll move on to the next story. We've got an update from Antigua and the saga of Alfa Nero, and the government of Antigua and Barbuda continues as a US federal court has lifted a temporary block on a subpoena aimed at uncovering potential financial misconduct involving the Prime Minister Gaston Brown, members of his family and close associates. This is based on reporting from the Antigua Observer newspaper, by the way. In a landmark ruling with serious implications for Antigua and Barbuda's political leadership, a US federal court has lifted a temporary block on subpoenas aimed at uncovering potential financial misconduct involving the Prime Minister Gaston Brown, members of his family and close associates. The decision, handed down by Judge Jesse Furman in the Southern District of New York on the 22nd of April, allows discovery to proceed in an international legal matter brought by Yulia Guryeva Motlakov, a businesswoman seeking evidence for use in foreign legal proceedings tied to the seizure and sale of the luxury yacht Alfa Nero. Now, before we continue, make no mistake who she is representing. She's representing her father, who is sanctioned. He's a sanctioned Russian businessman, Andrei Guriev Sr. He's the actual owner of that boat. Anyway, back to the story. The subpoenas target international wire transfer records linked to 19 individuals and entities, including Brown, his wife, Minister Maria Brown, and others alleged to have been involved in questionable transactions. The US court ruled that efforts to quash or delay the subpoenas lacked merit and emphasised that the privacy claims made by Brown's legal team were minimal given the nature of the records sought. And to protect against premature public disclosure, the court ordered that any financial documents obtained through the subpoenas be handled on an attorney's eyes-only basis, meaning only legal counsel may view the information unless otherwise ordered. In its filings, the applicant's legal team accused Prime Minister Brown of using intimidation and defamation threats, including vulgar online attacks against opposing counsel, to disrupt the proceedings. The court was informed that Brown had made public statements promising lawsuits against the applicant, journalists, and even the chairman of the opposition party in connection with the corruption allegations. So anyway, regardless of the outcome of this court case involving the Antiguan Prime Minister, it should be remembered that Mr. Guriev's daughter is acting as a shell owner for the sanctioned Russian to push forward with legal challenges to the sale of the vessel. Mr. Guriev himself would be unable to file these papers because he's currently sanctioned because of the war in Ukraine. And his sanctions is the reason that the yacht was there in the first place, right? He's effectively going around the sanctions by using his daughter to fight with US lawyers on his behalf. Now, lawyers representing the daughter of Mr. Guriev have not responded to our repeated requests for statements or to answer questions we posed to them regarding the legitimacy of the ownership claimed by Mr. Guriev's daughter. All right, we'll move on. Motor yacht Genesis, brand new super yacht. She was brand new 2 years ago. That was caught up in sanctions laws in the Netherlands, has left Dubai. The yacht left on the 21st of April this year and headed to Salalah in Oman. Now, the yacht has since left there and is actually headed to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, which means heading through that very dangerous area, which has seen many ships attacked recently by Houthi rebels. Heading through the Red Sea could mean that the yacht is going to transit the Suez Canal. The yacht is believed to be owned by Vaja Alekperov and left Dubai after 2 years laid up there. If you remember the story, the yacht was built in the Netherlands by Hyssen, which Alekperov used to own, but it was unable to be delivered to the Russian owner because of the sanctions laws put in place by the Dutch government after the invasion of Ukraine, which basically said that no vessels could be delivered to Russian owners regardless of their sanctions status. The yacht was laid up in the Netherlands as a result of this for about a year before being sold to a non-Russian, which was required, like I said, by part of those sanctions regulations. But then the yacht left the Netherlands and headed directly to Dubai and was immediately laid up for over 2 years, which is very strange. It's like buying a new car, buy a Ferrari, and you drive it back and you put it in your garage and then you don't drive it for 2 years. Alekperov wasn't actually sanctioned at the time that this vessel was due to be delivered, but like I said, the regulations stated he couldn't take delivery anyway. But we believe the yacht is still owned by Alekperov and that he managed to purchase the vessel, most likely using shell companies, to get the vessel out of the Netherlands. He also recently sold his old vessel, Galactica Supernova, which is now in the shipyard in Barcelona. I think it's MB92. It's getting work done on it there. Also had a name change to Gaja, G-A-J-A. Now, from what we understand of that sale, it was done directly without the use of any brokers. A story of the sale of Hyssen, the actual company that built both of those yachts, to a new owner has recently surfaced. Alekperov, like I said, was recently the owner until he was sanctioned, at which point he placed his shares of the company into a trust. It would appear, based on the new owner, that he's also managed to sell his shares now that company has been sold to somebody else. So he's managed to get his vessel out of the Netherlands despite the sanctions. He's sold his old yacht, and he's also sold his shares in that company. So yeah, mission complete. She'll have the mission accomplished banner behind him when he lands on his aircraft carrier. Anyway, one last story before we go. Motor Yacht A is heading to Columbo in Sri Lanka after coming out of a refit in Oman. The yacht ownership company on the IMO database says that it's a charter company registered in China. Not yet seen any adverts for this yacht though. If we have any subscribers in Sri Lanka, watch out for this yacht heading your way. It may or may not arrive there based on AIS. It's pretty unreliable these days. But it does say it's headed to Colombo as we film this video. All right, guys, I'll wrap up there. If you've got any info for us, you know how to get in touch. The information's there. You can send us emails in that email address there, and you can send video and photos through this link. They're also in the description. Be sure to check us out on patreon.com/eSysman. We posted a video there this week. We post usually 2 to 3 videos a week, and you can watch all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. We're going to be traveling soon as well, so we post videos there exclusively for our patrons. So be sure to check that out, patreon.com/eSysman. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the button for future notifications. We're trying to get up to 400,000 this year, so if you watch regularly and you haven't yet subscribed, please just click on that button. You get a full refund if you're not happy. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.